welcome back. Today we have a really great author that I cannot wait to introduce you to. We have Jennifer Snow. She has written so many beautiful series, and she also writes under a pen name. And so we're going to share all the good stuff with you and tell you what's coming down the pipeline for Jennifer. And welcome, Jennifer. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I write contemporary romance for Harlequin, Grand Central, Entangled. I did a series for Penguin Random House a few years ago. As you said, I also write under a pen name, J.M. Winchester. I have a couple of thrillers that I do under that name. And I recently started doing screenwriting. So that's been
in your
exciting.
spare time.
Yeah. Bit of a spin-off to writing novels and just exploring something different to see if I could do it, and it's been really fun. And I'm a mom. I have an 11-year-old son, and my husband retired, and we just moved to Spain. So yeah, lots of exciting things going on.
So, like Spain permanently?
Hope so. Yeah. Let us
That is amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like two different world collides here. You go from cold Canada to warm Spain. Yeah. Okay, that sounds really fabulous, actually. A great place to retire.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's been good.
So is your husband from Spain?
No, we're both Canadian, and we've always loved Spain. We traveled here, and we just fell in love with the place. And we said when he retired, we would move here. And then COVID gave him an opportunity to retire early. He's a little older than I am, but definitely not close to retirement years. But it just gave us an opportunity for him to take an early leave and make those future plans happen faster than we thought. So it was
quite an adventure. Yeah. So hopefully when COVID goes away forever, which is hopefully soon, you can start to travel around Europe. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, we've been traveling throughout Spain as much as we can, with restrictions and that kind of thing. And it's just been amazing. It's just beautiful. My 11-year-old is in love with the place. He's very happy to be here. So
that's amazing. That is amazing. So one of the things, I'm going to brag about you just a little bit because, you're not going to, so I'm going to do it for you. Jennifer is an award-winning contemporary romance author, also writes screenplays, spare time, and has so many series that are just so beautiful. And here's the funny thing that I just discovered about Jennifer is she writes these, I'm a big Alaska fan. You guys know that. She writes these beautiful books on Alaska and has a new Christmas one coming out today. It's out today. Happy Pub Day, by the way. And this isn't it, but this is an older one. But she writes about Alaska like I swear she's lived there. And we were just talking about it, and she's never been there. And I'll tell you what, that's some imagination right there. I give you so much credit for that because when I read these books, I saw Alaska and I've been to Alaska. So you did a great job of taking me back to Alaska. So anytime I miss Alaska, in fact, I read the fall one, who's not getting in the mood for fall, and it took me to Alaska. So that was really great. And you did a great job on that. So where do you get your inspiration from for all of your books?
I don't know. Usually it just starts, I'm not a big plotter. I wish I was. It would make my process a little easier. And after, 40 books, it's, I just can't do it. So usually it starts with, an idea about, a couple or, a trope that I really would love to explore or that I haven't written before. And then just figuring out who those people are and what that story looks like. But it can start from anywhere. I was explaining to my husband where one of the ideas for one of my thrillers came from actually earlier today. And it was I was pregnant and I was driving and there was a big transport truck coming in the opposite direction. And I couldn't see if there was cars coming around him. And he waved me on to say, yeah, you can turn. And I did. And the minute I did, I was like, oh my goodness, like I just trusted this man with my life because, I couldn't see if anything was coming and I just went. And then the thriller just kind of spun off of that, with like, what if there had been something coming? And, this woman goes into a coma and things like that. And so that book isn't published yet, but it was where the inspiration had come from. So it's everywhere, and I think the more you get out and live life, the more you will, be inspired and, different things can trigger different ideas all the time. So yeah, there's always inspiration everywhere. So.
I love that. And so you've written so many great series. you have your Mistletoe series, your Colorado Ice, your Wild River, and now you're spinning into your new Alaska series, right? Is it an Alaska series?
Yes. Yeah.
And which one is that one called again?
It's tentatively called the Wild Coast series right now.
You don't have anything in the directly coming from that yet.
There's a pre-order link on Amazon so far for the first book called Sweet Home Alaska, but that's all we have so far. No cover, no blurb, and nothing yet. The book, I just finished it and sent it to the editor last week. So
how exciting! You've got Alaska nailed down. It's pretty great. You have a great series.
I hope so.
A lot like Christmas, your new baby, happy pub day. If you guys don't know, that's her publishing day, meaning that came out today. Well, let's talk about that one. I have it pulled up. You guys can download it right now and start reading it today, or order it right now and it'll come, if you have Prime, 2-day shipping. Let's talk a little bit about A Lot Like Christmas. What your new baby, your Blue Moon Bay.
Yeah. So A Lot Like Christmas is the second book in the series. A Lot Like Love came out earlier this year. But I love Christmas books. I love reading them. I love writing them. If I could just write Christmas books, I would. Obviously, that doesn't make for a very prolific career. Some authors can do it. My editors won't let me. But but I love this story. It's I'm a huge fan of the movie Good Luck Chuck. I know it's an old movie with Dane Cook, where he's a good luck charm, and women sleep with him, and then they find their true love after that. It was a similar vibe to that I was going with the lead heroine in this one, where every guy that she dates ends up finding his true love after they break up, and she ends up making their wedding cakes. So, the opening scene in this book, I won't give anything away because it's my favorite, but the opening scene in this book, she snaps a little.
Jessica Connolly. All right.
It's a fun opening scene. So, yeah, it was great. And the hero is a doctor's, he works with Doctors Without Borders, and he's back in his hometown for the holidays, kind of trying to regroup after a more difficult mission. So, yeah, the two of them have a timeline. They have Christmas and that's all they have. So how do they get to forever? So
this is the perfect time to grab this book because I'm starting to get in the Christmas mood. I'm like, okay, give me all the holiday books. And I may not be reading them right now, but I'm making my stack, my TBR stack. So this is a great book to grab. You also have your older one too, which in Alaskan Christmas. And we'll pull this one up down below in the carousel too, so you guys can grab it. But she has a lot of great books, you guys. They're not just Alaska series. I was looking at your other series that you have that looked amazing too, your Housewife Chronicles.
Yeah.
I mean, are you a machine, Jennifer? Tell the truth. I mean, you are putting out so many great books. And what's a day of writing look like for you?
Well, honestly, it's with my 11-year-old, and I really do focus on family and being a mom first and that kind of thing. So lately it hasn't. It sounds like it should take a long time to do these things, but it's only a couple of hours a day. I'm not as writing as often as I did before. I used to do 8 to 10 hours a day. But I've kind of managed to streamline things a little bit, and I think it's because I've been writing since I was 4 years old. Started pitching things at 15. So a lot of the things that I'm putting out are things that I might have worked on 3 or 4 years ago that maybe I just put on the back burner, and then an opportunity came up to work on them again and to publish them now. A lot of my screenplays are projects that didn't fly as a book, and so now I'm turning them into scripts, and they're finding a new home in a different format. So I'm repurposing a lot of things, and I'm going back to some old projects and revamping them and pulling them out, and because they were good stuff, they just maybe didn't find a home at that time, or I didn't get a chance to finish it, or something pulled me in a different direction. So yeah, so it sounds like there's a lot of books coming out and that I'm writing nonstop, but it's not the case. It's more just trying to go back and go through some of the stuff that I didn't publish years ago and see if there's something there that I could maybe make better and see if I can find a home for, and things that I've put on the back burner that now I get an opportunity to publish. So yeah,
that is awesome. I feel like we got to go back to something you said though. 15, you started pitching?
Yeah. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Sent a handwritten manuscript to Harlequin.
Oh my gosh. So what happened?
It was amazing. One of the editors, senior editors over there, she's no longer with them, but she responded to the handwritten manuscript. It was a young adult that I was pitching them, a young adult romance, and I don't even think they published young adult romances back then. But I was pitching them a new line, this book that I just thought was amazing, and she emailed me back mailed back the rejection letter actually back then, and it was so encouraging. She was, she actually read it and she said I had talent, but that I didn't have the life experience to write for Harlequin at 15 years old, which she was totally right about. But she said to keep writing and that someday I would write for Harlequin, and she was right. And it was so amazing. So yeah, it was definitely what kept me going and pushing on.
So how old were you when you got the yes?
29, so my first.
Almost 15 years later.
Yeah.
Wow. So, wow. I'm still so concerned because you said 29, but you look 29 now.
No, I turned 40. I feel a million. It's it's been a long.
So you've written all these books in like 11 years. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Wow. Well, you definitely get the prolific author status there. So what are you currently working on? So you said you have your thriller coming out. Will that come out under J.M. Winchester?
It will. Yeah. It's still not quite ready to go out on submission yet, so I'm not even sure when that one is. I've had a bunch of people email, asking when the next J.M. Winchester book is coming out, and I feel really bad that there wasn't one in 2021. I'm hoping 2022 for sure. So
that's okay. I'm just going to pull some of these up down below so they can check them out, because that's pretty cool. So you go back and forth between your J.M. Winchester and your Jennifer Snow. That's kind of fun, like almost like reading. I like to read, that nice contemporary romance, and sometimes you want a thriller, sometimes you want to flip back and forth. So let's talk a little bit about that. What was Last One to Lie about, and where did that come from?
Well, actually, Last One to Lie came about because I sold the first thriller, All the Lovely Pieces, and Thomas Mercer gave me a 2-book deal. So then it's like, oh no, I have to write another thriller. I thought I only had one in me. But it was fun. It was definitely fun because All the Lovely Pieces, the first one, was very came up from a personal place, and it was something that I was passionate about. It was a book that I had been thinking about for years and just did not have the courage to write. I didn't think I could pull it off, so I put it off forever. And then I finally had a break in my publishing schedule for romance, and I went with it and did it, and we found a home for it. But then Last One to Lie was great because it was something I could just write for fun, and write this off-the-wall, dark, twisted thriller, using my psychology background to really kind of, do this, I don't know, just really crazy thriller. My thrillers are not, super realistic. They're very, domestic, psychological thriller type of stories where I dig deep into these really crazy personalities, so yeah, my crime investigation process may not be completely accurate, is what I'm saying. But
so what is your background? What did you do before you started writing?
Mostly working in fitness and health industries and sales and marketing, that kind of thing. I did a degree in linguistics and psychology, and then I was halfway through a PhD in neuroscience when I decided, what, I want to write. So why am I continuing to get degrees that I don't really want to use? So I gave up the degree and went into a job that allowed me time to write. So, and then I have my son.
What was your linguistic specialty? What was your language?
Well, it was all different languages. So mine was focusing more on neuro-linguistics. So that's where I was going with it anyway. That's why I paired it with the psychology degree. So, and I still think I use that, in my writing, and
yeah, absolutely.
The psychology degree, especially, the psychology, abnormal psychology, and sex and all the narcissistic people, and everything gets thrown into these novels. So yeah,
there always has to be a bad guy, and Joyce Maynard says we have to love the bad guys too. Well, we have to care about them. I don't know. She had a good point. We were talking about the bad guys in her books, and she's like, "Well, they need love too." And I'm like, "Fine, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough." So I always like to ask my authors this: what are you reading right now?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a huge holiday romance reader. September 28th or whatever that last day of September is when all the holiday books hit the shelves. I'm
Yes,
like,
it's like happy shopping,
Christmas.
everyone.
Yes, it's like, early Christmas. So
Yes.
there's a ton that I'm looking forward to reading. My favorite from last year that I actually didn't get a chance to read until earlier this year actually was In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. It was my first book by them with their writing team. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with the writing style. It's funny and heavily dialogue based, which is kind of what I like.
I blame you for that because you sent over your Christmas your list of books that you're reading right now, and I bought half of them.
It's so good.
I was like, I haven't seen that one. And what's really funny is I have I'm booked out through Christmas for Christmassy type books, and your book, your newest one, showed up on half of those lists too.
Oh, yay!
So you're sharing theirs and they're sharing yours.
Oh, that's so good. So good to hear. That's always the best when other authors buy your stuff because they know this industry. They know,
They know what's good.
Well, they have so many author friends. Like I buy books all the time to support my author friends, and I love reading them. And it's so great because not only are you getting this amazing book, but that person.
Yeah.
So it's super cool.
I think we forget too that we buy your book and we buy couple days of entertainment, but it was like a year or more of like your blood, sweat, and tears goes into it, and it's like a piece of them, and so it's really special. So sorry, go ahead. What else are you reading right now?
And then I did actually break down and read something that wasn't holiday themed this year. I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. And that one was
so her earlier one, not the People We Meet on Vacation.
No, the Beach Read one. Yeah. So
I haven't read that one yet. That's the only one I haven't read yet. I read the others though, but how was it?
Good. And because what attracted me to it was they were authors, so he's a mystery crime writer and she's a romance writer, and they're sharing cabins side by side for for a few weeks. And so I love books about writers. So we're a strange group of people. So it's really, fun to read about that profession. So
that is awesome. So what I always like to ask this too, and also I guess it makes sense that you're into beach reads because you live in Spain. So it's like probably feels like summer and you're like, wait, it's fall. Yeah. So what are you watching right now?
Halloween baking shows. I am addicted to Halloween baking shows, those Halloween or Christmas champion, baking shows, anything baking shows. But especially the Halloween ones. I'm not huge into scary stuff or horror or anything like that, but I love the Halloween baking challenges and the stuff that they create. I keep threatening my husband that I'm going to quit writing and start baking, but
well, maybe you can, bake vicariously through a character. Maybe somebody at the new Alaska town is a baker. Well, you said wasn't Jessica Connolly was a baker, right?
Yeah, in the latest, in a lot like Christmas, she owns her own bakery. Yeah.
I thought I read that. So that's awesome. I cannot wait to read that one too. So, okay, a lot like Christmas. And then what do you have coming up next? You've got in January an Alaskan Christmas Homecoming. Is that a release or is that, what is that one?
That's the final novella for the series. So that one's going to actually come out in January. And then the final book in the series comes out, I think, March of 2022. But the novella actually, timeline-wise, the novella kind of goes after that, I think.
Oh, okay.
The novella always comes out a little bit early, like the last couple of books. The novella came out before the book, but in timeline-wise, it should have been after. So it's in the back of the print book. So if you get the print book, you read it in the right order. But if you get the novella in between, sometimes the timeline shifts.
And I just love all your covers too, by the way.
Oh, the art department is fantastic.
I mean, come on.
I know.
And I'm looking at your future covers and I'm just like,
yes.
They're so good.
I know.
Who's doing that? Give them a raise, Harlequin.
Well,
a raise right now. because I was influenced. I saw these in a bookstore in Alaska, and I'm like, I need to buy some of these. My husband's like, we can't buy books because then you have to carry them all home. And I'm like, you're not the boss of me. I'm buying them.
Yeah, no, the covers are fantastic. They're so good.
Really
and I really love my Blue Moon Bay covers as well. A Lot Like Forever, the next one that's coming out.
I see that one on the duck. Is that a fall theme book?
Yes. I know.
Jennifer, I need all the fall books.
I know.
I'm so happy that you're putting that out. When will it be out in paperback?
The end of August of next year. So it's a bit of a gap between the Christmas one that just released and that one next year. But definitely going to be one of my favorites, I think. I'm writing it now, and I just love it. And it's set during the fall. It'll be like a bit of a Halloween theme to it.
Oh my gosh. Do you have like fall candles going, trying to bring all the vibe?
Well, that's writing out a season. It's so hard. I mean, I'm in like 40-degree weather in Spain trying to write a Christmas book. And so, back home, I had a Christmas tree in my office all year round. I had peppermint lip balm and peppermint hand cream and drinking hot chocolate when it's 80 degrees. And but
you're like, I'm not going outside. I'm going to turn the air conditioner down.
Just shut all the dark out blinds and I'm okay.
Yeah. That is awesome. Well, all right. Where can we find you and support you the most right now? On social, your website, where can we find you? And everybody can grab A Lot Like Christmas today, right down below. It's great. I cannot wait. I just ordered it this morning. So excited. And where can we find you and support you?
My website has all the information. So jennifersnowauthor.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and social media, Facebook, all those kind of good places. I even have a TikTok account, which I have no idea how to use.
Maybe you should ask your 11-year-old. I've been asking my 12-year-old, and she's been helping. She's going to kill me. She goes, don't tell people on live that I help you with TikTok. And I'm like, well, you do. Sometimes they're smarter than us at these things.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
TikTok is a lot of fun though. I love author talk and book talk on TikTok. It's pretty fun.
Well, I like watching other people do it, but I'm just so.
I know. I'm so awkward doing it. But I tell you what, I get in trouble because I come over. I watch all these, and then I'm like over here, like putting these in my cart. Like all of a sudden, like I was doing a cooking show today, and my husband's like, "Yeah, Amazon just dropped off like 6 books for you." And I'm like,
yeah, no, yeah.
It's not my fault the holiday books came out.
Exactly. That's my excuse. Yeah. So I'm everywhere, but I don't know what any of the profiles are. I'm horrible.
That's okay. We will find you, Jennifer Snow. And now I can't wait to read your J.M. Winchester books because I love a good thriller every now and then.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy them. They're really dark.
Keep the fall books coming.
Yeah, definitely fall. But yeah, be aware. They're definitely not light and fluffy like my romance. It's almost like a split personality writes the thrillers because they're very dark. So
that's okay. Sometimes you gotta throw a wild card in there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, Jennifer. And just so happy to have you. And thank you for joining us. Happy Pub Day.
Thank you so much. It was really fun.
All right, stand by.